Coming up today on a special edition of WCMO Radio News, President Obama makes a decision regarding the funeral of John Gray and an update on the earthquake in Nepal. I've got those stories and more right here on WCMO FM Marietta. Good afternoon and welcome to a special edition of WCMO FM News. I'm Lucy Wells reporting, and I'll be here with you for the next 15 minutes or so for a look at what's going on in Marietta and beyond. Topping our news this afternoon, a Nepal police official says at least 3,218 people have been confirmed killed in the immense weekend earthquake centered outside of the capital of the Himalayan nation. Deputy Inspector General of Police Kamal Singh Baum gave no further details Monday. So far, 18 people have also been confirmed dead in an avalanche that swept through the Mount Everest base camp in the wake of the earthquake. Another 61 people were killed in neighboring India. Iranian Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif says the Non-Proliferation Treaty allows all countries access to peaceful nuclear technology.
Each state party, in line with its national requirements and in accordance with the rights and obligations under the treaty, has a sovereign right to define its national energy and fuel cycle policies, including the inalienable right to develop for peaceful purposes a full national nuclear fuel cycle.
Now, I know I've been enjoying this break from the April showers we've been getting. The weather this weekend was gorgeous, but are these sunny skies here to stay? Let's see what I can find for you. Now, it looks like our forecast is calling for partly sunny skies today here in Marietta with a high near 66. Tonight, we'll see some cloud cover move in with a low around 45. Thursday, it'll still be mostly cloudy, but expect it to warm up to around 67. Thursday night, we'll see cloudy skies with that chill coming back, a low around 42. And it'll be a beautiful Friday, mostly sunny with a high of 70. That's your forecast for the rest of this week. Back to our continuing report on WCMO FM Marietta. The White House says the head of President Barack Obama's Initiative for Minority Males will attend the funeral of a Baltimore man who died after sustaining serious injuries while in police custody. Broderick Johnson, the chairman of the My Brother's Keeper Task Force, will represent the administration at Monday's funeral for Freddie Gray. Johnson is also the cabinet secretary. Gray is the 25-year-old black man who died a week after an encounter with Baltimore police left him with grave spinal injuries. He is being buried Monday in Baltimore. The White House said Sunday night that Johnson, a Baltimore native, will be accompanied by two other officials. Mourners paid their respect before Gray's coffin on Sunday after a night of violent protests led to nearly 36 arrests. The jury deciding the fate of the Boston Marathon bomber has heard from his lawyer. AP correspondent Rita Foley reports.
Johar Tsarnaev's lawyer urged the jury to give him life, not death, saying there is no point in trying to hurt him as he hurt because it can't be done. Tsarnaev was a good kid, in the words of his lawyer, David Bruck, led astray by his belligerent older brother, Tamerlan, who died during a shootout with police. Prosecutors have portrayed Johar Tsarnaev as an unrepentant killer who knowingly put down a backpack bomb near children at the finish line of the Boston Marathon. I'm Rita Foley.
When WCMO FM Marietta returns, the Ely Chapman Education Foundation holds an art auction, and Washington County walks for child abuse awareness. Stay tuned, I'll have these stories and more coming up. Welcome back to a special edition of WCMO Radio News. I'm Lucy Wells reporting. Ohio Highway Patrol is investigating after two females were involved in a single rollover crash Sunday afternoon. Officials say it happened around 1:30 p.m. The Washington County Sheriff's Office says the vehicle was traveling northbound when it lost control in a curve and went off the side of the road and flipped on its top. Authorities tell us 19-year-old Alexa Harvey was found in a ditch alongside State Route 555 with multiple injuries. Investigators say she may have been ejected from the vehicle. She was transported by helicopter to Charleston Area Medical Center, where deputies say she's listed in stable condition. Officials say Susan Harvey was also in the vehicle. Her condition is unknown at this time. Ohio Highway Patrol is handling the investigation. East Muskingum Park in Marietta was covered in blue Sunday for Child Abuse Awareness Month. The Washington County Children's Services held their 4th annual Child Abuse Awareness Walk, with lighthearted activities for children and more serious resources for parents. Amanda Herron from the Washington County Children's Services had this to say. Our main focus is prevention. We have a lot of programs and services available in the county to help families once a problem has started, but it's a lot nicer when we can get involved earlier and offer those services before there are issues with child abuse and neglect for the betterment of the family and the children, end quote. The facts show about 5 children die each day from abuse. Even 36% of women in prison were abused as children. 90% of child sexual abuse victims know their perpetrator in some way. The Ely Chapman Education Foundation in Marietta hosted a dinner and auction Sunday evening to benefit kids attending their summer program. Pieces of art from local artists and children, along with donated items from the community, were auctioned off to about 80 attendees. 100% of their $5,000 goal will go towards their children's summer scholarship program. Alice Chapman from the Ely Chapman Education Foundation had this to say. I don't think any child should be deprived of the right of a good summer program, an educational summer program without, because of the lack of funds to pay for it. I feel that this is one of the most important things we can do for our children is to provide them with a good education, and this is how we do it, end quote. The summer program is 11 weeks long and focuses on continuing education between regular school years. Ohio Democratic supporters joined together Saturday for their 2015 spring dinner in Marietta. The dinner was held at the Knights of Columbus Hall, where former Ohio Governor Ted Strickland spoke as this year's keynote speaker. Those who attended wanted to focus on current Democratic issues, along with encouraging everyone to vote. Willa O'Neill from the Democratic Executives Committee says, this is really an opportunity to get Democrats in the community together and to share ideas, build friendships, network, and just spend time with people who share our values, end quote. Strickland will be running for U.S. Senate in the 2016 election for the state of Ohio. Coming up after the break, more news from around the area, and I'll have an update on what's happening in Hollywood, so stay with me right here on WCMO FM Marietta.
Every now and then a teardrop falls and that ain't fair, but there ain't nothing you can do. Gotta take the winter months with all the frosty air, so that your summertime shines through.
Welcome back to a WCMO Radio News Special Report. I'm Lucy Wells. In West Virginia news, Williams Energy and state regulators are working to mitigate the impact of a natural gas pipeline rupture in Marshall County. Department of Environmental Protection spokeswoman Kelly Gillenwater says inspectors have found benzene and other materials in an unnamed stream. Gillenwater says that the company has contained the contaminants to the stream. None of the materials have been found in Little Grave Creek. Williams Energy also is removing contaminated soil in the area of the spill. About 132 gallons of condensate spilled into Little Grave Creek after a 4-inch pipeline ruptured northeast of Glendale on April 9th. Condensate is a mixture of petroleum products found in natural gas. A group claiming to be affiliated with Islamic State extremists has hacked the website of a developer group in downtown Cincinnati. The group said on the webpage of 3cdc.org that the hacking is part of ISIS's call to restore the right of Muslims who have been killed by your government's savage and unjust, quote. The organization took down the affected sites after discovering the hack on Saturday. Officials don't think 3CDC was specifically targeted. Similar hacks of Cincinnati-based websites, Moreline Lager House, a Cincinnati brewery, and Montgomery Inn occurred in March. There's no evidence that ISIS itself was behind the attack. The FBI released a statement last month that said it was investigating. Police union officials say a judge has declined to dismiss the voluntary manslaughter case against a Cleveland officer in the deaths of 2 people after a high-speed chase that ended in a 137-shot barrage. Lawyers for patrolman Michael Brillo filed a motion to dismiss the case last week. The Cleveland Police Patrolmen's Association said Sunday the motion was dismissed. President Steve Loomis says the union looks forward to presenting Brillo's defense. Prosecutors allege Brillo fired kill shots through the car's windshield at Timothy Russell and Melissa Williams after they were no longer a threat to anyone's life. They were unarmed. Brillo's attorneys have argued his final shots in the November 2012 encounter were lawful because the pair still posed a threat. The trial is scheduled to resume Monday morning. Hollywood and DC spent the weekend rubbing elbows, plus a first look at a familiar villain. I've got all the topical jokes and one terrifying Joker in today's Hollywood Minute. The annual White House Correspondents' Dinner brought together politicians, journalists, and entertainers. As host, Saturday Night Live, Cicely Strong, was not afraid to hit some hot-button issues. President Obama, meanwhile, enlisted comedian Keegan-Michael Key to help translate his speech. And this is no joke. Jared Leto might give you nightmares as the Joker. We're getting a first look at the clown prince of crime for 2016's Suicide Squad. The movie is expected to hit theaters next summer. Furious 7 tops the box office again. It's the first movie to hold on to the #1 spot for 4 straight weeks since 2012. Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 came in second place. Blake Lively's fantasy drama The Age of Adeline premiered at number 3. For Hollywood Minute, I'm Lucy Wells. Coming up next on this WCMO FM special report, I'll have the latest on what's going on in the world of sports. Stay tuned. Zurich Classic winner Justin Rose says he's glad he was able to close out the tournament with birdies on the final 2 holes.
Whenever you hole a putt on the 72nd hole, or to finish out a tournament, or to, those are the most meaningful putts. The putt at 17 sets up the opportunity to win the tournament. But when you go ahead and slam the door by making a nice putt like that, that's by far and away the best feeling.
Montreal shuts out Ottawa to close out their NHL first-round playoff series 4-2. AP correspondent Ben McCoy reports.
With a 2-0 win, the Montreal Canadiens have eliminated the Ottawa Senators in 6 games. Brendan Gallagher scored his first goal of the playoffs in the opening period when he took a puck in the slot and beat Craig Anderson. The Sens certainly had their chances, putting 43 shots on Habs goalie Carey Price, but went 0 for 4 on their power plays. Ottawa pushed hard late in the game, especially in the last few minutes, but Price stood tall. Max Pacioretty scored into the empty net, rounding out the scoring for the Habs. Ben McCoy, Ottawa.
And Wild coach Mike Yeo says the Wild earned their spot in the second round of the playoffs.
That's a heck of a hockey team, a very well coached hockey team. You have to fight for every inch out there. To be able to be here and start getting ready for the second round is a great accomplishment for our group.
Sprint Cup winner Kurt Busch says a change in his approach to driving led to his win.
After the race last week, I felt like, just settle down, get into the groove where you let the race come to you, and let the talent of the crew members come into play, and that way we all carry the same weight. I think I was just trying to carry too much weight.
That wraps up this special edition news report on WCMO FM Marietta. For a look at what's going on in Marietta and beyond, I'm Lucy Wells. Thanks for listening and have a great week.